we're going to talk about financial abundance. And as you can see, Tommy's an entrepreneur. We've known each other for a number of years. We were in an entrepreneurs community together, learning how to create money online, essentially, and create a business around our higher purpose or our soul mission, whatever you want to determine it. And, I've met a lot of people in the community, in the Facebook group, who are struggling in this area, particularly around the energy of money. And so what I talk about is 3 principles of financial abundance. Now, they're probably a lot more than this, but these are really important to me. And I'm interested to get Tommy's thoughts on this and how he works on this day to day, because he has created a certain degree of financial freedom for himself to be able to, spend more time with his family, to travel, etc. So that's what I want to focus on today. We all know that money doesn't necessarily equal happiness, but it can be an incredible energy of support for us to create lives that do lead us to fulfillment and happiness. But the first thing I wanted to kick off with, Tommy, I'd love to get your thoughts on this. I asked people in the group this week, what does the energy of money mean to you? I love asking this question because I get so many different answers. But here's a few that I thought were really interesting. And by the way, none of these are necessarily wrong. It's just down to an individual's personal belief system. But it really gives you an idea of the kind of belief system that each person's coming from. So first of all, get yourself set up there. First of all, it ranges from some people said, when asked about the energy of money, some people said nothing. It's an unfortunate means to an end and drives everybody to be predatory towards their own kind. It needs to go. Likewise, that's heavy. Somebody else said trouble with a capital T. The nearest thing to real evil I've ever been sure was evil and yet completely necessary. So that's one end of the spectrum. Then you get people somewhere in the middle who say potential or it's a tool, no more. And the other end of the spectrum, you can probably tell this is somebody who's probably done I know this person's done a lot of work in this area. Freedom, abundance, and a loving exchange. So, none of those are wrong, but it gives you an idea of where you can come from. And for me, the energy of money is like neutral, really. And it's all down to us and our belief system as to how we value it and how we see it. And I'm willing to bet that the people who think that it's evil and predatory probably don't see a lot of it showing up in their lives, as opposed to somebody who thinks it's abundant and a loving exchange. That's the kind of energy that money probably wants to flow to. But I'm interested in your thoughts on that, Tommy, because I know you've done a lot of work in this area yourself.
Yeah. All right. So a few months ago, I'm hanging out with a friend of mine from back in the 90s, early 90s. I was in a band with him together. At the time, I was working full time. I think there's going to be a ship docking right here. I mean, it is a dock. I'll just stay here. I'll just stay here for now until I get swept away. So the other day, old friend of mine said, so many things have changed in your life. And I was like, yes, they really have. He said, I remember you in the 90s because I was working full-time nightlife and full-time as a bartender and a server. I used to say, he said, that I hated money. Even though I was making quite decent money. I mean, for someone who was 15, 16 years old, I was making money already back then. But I kept saying, apparently, that I hated money. And then, because it came as such a surprise, because now my mindset is, if you keep telling yourself that you hate money, because it's something that you're telling yourself, because it's a point of view. It's simply a point of view. It's an awareness. And when we start judging it, when we start judging money, when we start judging people that have money, instead of it just being a simple awareness or a point of view, we start creating blockades. Yeah. We start creating blockages that don't serve us other than stopping us from gaining that financial freedom ourselves. It took me a lot of work to get to the place where I was able to love money, to actually say, okay, I was working very hard to get to do philanthropic work. Most people that are seeing this or watching the replay probably know me, and they know me from. And if you don't, then you'll know me through philanthropic measures. And I've done a lot of crowdfunding. And I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. That is so much work. It's so much work to do incredible things on a larger scale, and to crowdfund, and to go out there and get the funding and get the sponsorships and all of that stuff. And I was just done with that work. I was just done with months of preparation for one event. So I decided to take the bull by its horns myself and create an abundant life for myself, instead of constantly being the middleman for charities and fundraising and stuff like that. And can you still hear me okay? Is it a bit noisy?
Yeah, it's all good.
It's okay. I'll just speak louder than them.
A lot of tourists around today.
And so then I suddenly realized, as a musician, years later, I was a full-time musician, and I realized that I wasn't passionate about making money in the music. I was doing music because I was passionate about music and creativity, but I wasn't passionate about making the dollar sign. I wasn't passionate about doing the work using my passion, to paychecks. And then I realized that the online space was providing a lot of options, and a lot of people were already making money before me. And then suddenly I was like, well, okay, what are these guys doing? What are these guys doing that I need to do? So I started hanging out with people that were making money online, and that's where you and I met as well. And the moment that I started reading books on business and reading books on money, like, ask yourself, how many books have you read? Anyone in here right now on a replay as well? If you're wanting to be successful in business, how many books have you read on business? If you want to be happy, how many books have you read on being happy? If you want to be fulfilled, how many books have you read on being fulfilled? If you want to be rich, how many books have you read on being rich? Like, what does that look like for you? And I said, you know what, I really want to be more philanthropic on a larger scale. I am building a business that is mine, or ours now, and that focuses on financial freedom, but also the main focus is philanthropy, is giving back to the world. And so if you've got a vision of something that you want to do, something larger than yourself, like giving back to the world, creating different means of, like, streams of income, for example. Like, I've got a few streams of income at the moment, and honestly, it's difficult. It's difficult to get to that point where you've got 4, 5, 6, 7 different streams of income running. But once that you got them running, they are running, right? And now I just created 4 more streams of income, which is because I learned how to do that before. Now I know how to do that. So I'm just basically repeating, rinse and repeat. But we have to focus on who we're trying to help in our business. Yeah. Who is the person that what does the world need now, right? What skills do you have that you can help people with? Like, I am personally educating people on digital growth, and they pay me for that. And they are able to build their own businesses as well, and then give back, because I am aligned with people, and I work with people, actually mostly only people who are in dire situations, trying to get them out of poverty struck situations, and or people who are truly passionate about giving back to the world, right? So those are the people who I'm trying to help and amplify their message. When you can add value to the people who you're serving, then you've got something to offer. Then you're actually solving a problem, right? So obviously the funnel is, let's say the structure is create an audience. What is the message? What is that audience? then create an attraction to that audience, and then bring them in, and then eventually sell them something. That's very roughly said. It's the same as a B&B, as a, you know, what do you call it? Broaden business. Broader. What's it called? I can't think of the name now.
Bricks and mortar. Bricks and mortar.
Bricks and mortar business, right?
Yeah.
You know, you open up a joint, then you stand outside and you hand out free samples, and then tomorrow they will come back. Yeah. You know, because it was so yummy, right? Like it's kind of the same thing, but online. So you got to kind of shift. I had to make a big shift from that hardcore offline world to suddenly go online, right? You and I made that shift pretty much the same time, 2018, 19. And then you went your own way, I went my own way. And creating authority in your field is fun. It's creative. You can, hey, he's all right. That captain guy, huh? You all right? Yeah, all right, guys. Wave.
Captain of the ship.
Bye.
Sorry.
You didn't wave, you bastard. Just kidding. Yeah, so it's a lot of mindset, I think. The financial freedom is a lot of mindset, because most people that hate money are broke.
Yeah, exactly.
If you really hate money, you are probably doing something for money that you don't enjoy, right? If you're spending a third of your life doing something that you really don't enjoy for not enough money just to get by, no wonder you don't like money.
Yeah.
Right. So step outside and you know, take a few steps back from yourself, from your situation, and observe, okay, what do I truly want? Do I want to travel the world? Do I want to go out and on boats and you know, have a somewhat automated system running in the background where you you know, where you do have more time for your family? Like my family's in the cafe right now, eating some buns and stuff. They're right behind me, I think, somewhere there. And you know, that's a choice. It's a point of view. It's something that I chose. And you know, it's not easy, you know, getting to this point, but it can be simple if you know what your vision is and what your where it is that you want to go, what it is that you want to do in your life. You know, I think that's and read books. Also, like you gotta do your research. You know, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind is a great one. T. Harv Eker, I always swear by that book. That really broke me free from my own old blueprint, my financial my financial blueprint, and my mind, my mental blueprint that I was brought up with, right? To money doesn't grow on trees and all that negative self-talk. Do your research, but mostly do your research on yourself.
Yeah.
Before you start going out there saying all these things that might not even be yours. Those opinions, those judgments might not be yours at all. They might be from your parents and your upbringing. So think about that too. That's really important, I find. I hope that somewhat answers the question in 50 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, for me, I always say this: money. We can put all this kind of baggage onto money, but ultimately, you think of money as a person. Who would you want to hang out with? If you're money, right? Who would you want to hang out with? Somebody who thinks you're that it's like thinks you're a predator, or somebody who thinks you're evil, or somebody who thinks you're a tool, or somebody who thinks you has potential, or you want to hang out with the person who thinks you make them feel free or abundant or a loving exchange. Like, who do you want to hang out with? You know, so like you said, so much of the work is on yourself initially. You've got to look at your own beliefs around it if you want to break through in this area. And ultimately, you know, some people on the spiritual journey, it's like, well, I don't need money. Money's no big deal. It means nothing to me. But we all know that it's an essential aspect of this society that we live in, you know. And, you know, thing for me, money is an energy that kind of enhances who you are. And if you're a person who you know, hasn't got great intentions for the world, you can do a lot of harm with it. But also, if you're a person that has got good intentions for the world and wants to help others, it's a beautiful energy of support that can allow you to expand that energy outwards and help a lot of people. You could, like you said, you can build a charity, you can give to a charity, you can build a retreat center, you can build a business that serves people in a certain way. So really, for me, money is completely neutral, but it's an energy that will enhance who you are. And if you really got a good intention for the world, it can do tremendous good to support you on that mission. Yeah.
I'd like to add to that if you don't mind.
Yeah, go for it.
I've traveled. I touched base in 72 plus countries, if I remember right, and a lot of that are third world countries, including Africa. I've been there maybe 20, I don't know, 20 or 30 times, something like that. And when you come back to the Western world, whatever, or Western society, let's say, the richer, financial, more economical, stable countries, you realize that we actually have it so incredibly good. I mean, look at me standing here, like looking at this little boat, coming in. Like there's no war here, there's no struggles, there's no not like that. There's drinkable water, there's electricity. You can do so many things, and the way I see that is like after seeing all those people struggle, and good friends of mine too, like I'm now helping them getting out of their situation, is that you see those people and what am I gonna do? Sit back and pretend like they're not struggling and they're not doing it, they're not fuck them, screw them, I don't care about them. No, I care about them. I want to help them. I've got one person in South Africa at the moment that I'm helping, one in Nigeria, one in Liberia, one in Kenya. That's just 4 people that I can think of right now who are really, really not well off, right? Even just thinking about them, it makes me just get up and get my act together, right? Yeah. If I start thinking about all the negative stuff that people are saying about money or about finance or about success or about abundance, I gotta walk away. I gotta just walk away because I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission to help people. So, what are you doing with your time? And see money. I really like that as like seeing money as an organism almost. Like, how do you treat it? How do you, if that was a human, how would you treat it? You would want to look after it, right? But you would also want to set it free, right? And give it that energy of like love and prosperity, and utilize that for good. It's really quite simple. If you unchain yourself from that, unchain yourself from that dock.
From the dock.
Set yourself free
on the open water. I love that, because it, again, like a relationship, like in an actual relationship with a partner, if you're somebody who, like, I used to be like this, where it's like, I'm going to save all my money, I'm going to kind of hoard it, but I'm not going to spend it. I'm just going to kind of keep it to myself and try and build it. Again, that's not a great relationship either. You need to be able to let it go as well as come to you. So a lot of it, I think, is it's written down. There's no we live in an amazing time, like you talked about, whereby, if you've got access to the internet, you can build something. You don't have to build, like you said, a bricks and mortar business. So it's an amazing opportunity we live in. And maybe you do have a job. Doesn't mean you quit your job, but you can build something on the side around your mission or your purpose that can help you, start to experience some overflow in your life, and then maybe invest it or build a business from that. But there's no substitute for it. It does take hard work. And one of the principles I talk about I'll talk about that in a minute, which is your value to the world. So it isn't just about sitting and working on yourself and meditating. You do need to build a channel for that energy to come through you somehow. So, with this amazing time we live in, we learned, we invested in ourselves. We learned the practices, the techniques needed to create that channel to allow money to flow through us. But really important is to align that with your purpose or your mission, something you're passionate about. It isn't just about, I'm just going to build this, not particularly interested or passionate about it, and the money will just flow in. No, it has to be something that you're really purposeful about. Otherwise, you won't have the motivation to get you through the tough times, because it's not like you build something and money flows in every day, it's easy.
No,
it does take
it's an
a lot
everyday
of work,
thing.
and it takes dedication, because you are going to experience peaks and troughs, aren't you, on the journey as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And one of the ways to hone in on that is by truly listening to and seeing what it feels like when you get approached by things, whether that's algorithm on social media, or if people want to hang out on a Friday night or on a Monday or Tuesday, whatever, and just think about what it is that you don't want. Like the more that I've been saying no to, like, parties, for example. Like, I don't hang out like that, like I used to all the time. Like um, I've taken a lot of drugs in the past, made all the wrong decisions and stuff like that. I'm just done with all that shit, right? And so I say no to, like, going out and spending time on just getting fucked up, or going out for drinks. And and it's not because I need to change. It's because I really don't want to do that anymore. The more I started saying no to my friends that were going out to smoke joints and go out and whatever, the more I said no to that, the better I felt about, hey, I'm sober. Suddenly I was sober. Like, the last time that I had a drink, I don't even remember last time I had a drink. I think February. And then before that, maybe New Year's Eve, one cider. And before that was September. So it was like, like, the moment that you start saying no to the things that you don't want anymore, you start also kind of attracting more of the things that you do want. So it's very important to not just go with the people because you think that, what will they think? No, what do you feel like doing? What do you actually feel like doing? Do you dare to say no? And on social media also, like, we're all glued to our screens. With regards of YouTube or research or Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, that's all great. But if you start interacting with political arguments, then you're going to get more of that, right?
Yeah.
If I see something, I'm aware that if I heart or if I interact in anything like that, I'm going to get more of it.
Yeah.
So the more that I don't interact with that kind of shit, for me, that's shit. And anything that doesn't serve me or my vision, the more that you get placed in front of the things that are prosperous, that are actually aligned with where you want to go, and your core values, what you're saying, your values. So it's really it's about becoming aware, mostly, like, just become aware. And they say, like, woke or awaken, but it is about consciousness. It is about becoming conscious of what you're interacting with. If somebody starts shouting at me from the top of that bridge there, it's up to me how I react. It's up to me. Do I go over there and punch him in the face? For what? Why? If somebody's not happy with me because I'm standing here and there's a thing over there, and the guy wants to take a picture, sure, I'll step aside. But that's because I choose to be nice. In that scenario, I can also be a dick and just stay here and, like, it's my place. But now I'm attracting that kind of negativity into my life, and it's all down to choices. It's all down to points of views, and just awareness. Awareness is really important, and not judge. Not judge.
Yeah.
Not judge. Yeah.
Yeah. It's I always say this, but basics of manifestation, right? Or conscious manifestation. The way you feel is your point of attraction. So you need to be basically, it's very difficult to create financial abundance if you're coming to it from a place of lack and desperation and scarcity. In fact, it's impossible. If you build a business from that energy, you're going to get more and more of that energy coming back to you. So it's not going to create much for you, which is why it's really important. Oh, look at that. There you go. That's the abundant life behind you.
Guys, I'm over really here. I'm over here.
Yeah. It's really important. You've got to feel abundant if you're going to attract it into your life. So that's why the journey is there's so much inner work involved. And like you said, you've got to watch what you're consuming. Not only are you talking about in terms of what food or drink, like you said, like cutting out drugs and low vibrational food, alcohol, that kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
principles of raising
yeah.
vibration, high vibration food like fruits and vegetables or organic grown food, whatever it might be. And also, like you said, what are you consuming mentally? Are you watching junk TV? Are you watching political shows, or are you watching stuff that's actually going to raise you up or you learn something? You know, how are you treating your mind? Are you feeding it rubbish, or are you meditating? Are you looking after yourself? So, you know,
that's so good.
That's what I mean.
That's so good.
You have to feel abundant first. So much of it is working on your mindset. It's clearing out all of the blockages in your energetic system, you know, healing yourself, raising your vibration. When you feel abundant and you create a business from that energy, you're going to get abundant results. But if you're going to create a business from lack of self-worth, scarcity, fear, or, you know, feeling that money's evil or whatever it might be, you're not going to have much in the way of success. So you really need to start in yourself. And that's why I think in my own journey, mindset and then deeper healing is so important to that journey.
That's what you're focusing on. And that's a foundation of what I'm talking about, actually.
Yeah.
That's actually first, but with a vision, you know, where do you want to be in life? How do you want to feel every morning when you wake up? And like what the work that you do really sets somebody's spiritually free as well. What, you know, you and I can talk about this very easily, and people might believe in what we say and go for it. And I encourage people to do that. But at the same time, we have already worked through 50 books, right? Now we're able to say that. And so it sounds easier than that it is. It's simple, but it's not easy to get to that point. And there's no point in even looking at my life other than it be an inspiration. But don't compare yourself with somebody that's already 1,000 steps ahead of you.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
When you haven't made that first step yet. So just take that first step towards what it is that you truly desire, that you can apply yourself to wholeheartedly. Lead with heart-centered leadership, compassion, and intentionally living. Like, wake up. This morning I woke up and I the first thing that I did was I counted backwards in Dutch out loud, from 100 down to 0, because it brings you to a deeper state of is it alpha state? It's a theta state. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah. So it's these kind of things, like, and then exercise, and then ground outside. You know, put your feet on the ground. Yeah. Breathing exercise, a glass of water, and then cold shower. That's what I do. I try to do it every day. Sometimes I don't do it because of whatever but that's my fault. But it makes you feel so good. Like that first thing, like choose for yourself, you know, first thing in the morning, instead of like turning on the coffee, try to drown yourself in coffee and like rush out and like all this stuff. Like, no, I can't do that. I can't do that anymore. I used to do it all the time. I just don't, like, that was something I wanted to get away from, you know. And then feeling shit as well because of hangovers and stuff and whatever. It's just like your mindset's screwed already before you even go to bed, you know?
Yeah.
So intentionally living, like what you're saying, eat healthy food, invest in food, invest in it, because that's like, you know, giving your car a different kind of gas or different kind of benzene, whatever you call it, you know, just because it's cheaper, but then the engine gets fucked up. You know, and then you're, now you're going to the garage to get it fixed. So you might as well invest a little bit for longevity and choose good foods. I eat a lot of fruit now. I was never really into fruit back in the day, but now I really love fruit, you know? So
it's about as high vibration as you can get.
Yeah. Yep. Lots of water. Yep. Brother, I have to go.
You go, mate. I know you're busy there. You got your family with you. Thanks so much for joining, brother. I really appreciate your time today. Enjoy the day.
Thank you. If anybody is struggling to deal with that kind of stuff, and you're like, man, I really want to hang out with people that are already doing things, you're more than welcome to reach out. Obviously, to to Mark or myself, and also choose the people who you surround yourself with, because we are the average of the 5 people, as Jim Rohn says, and it's true. All of my best friends, all of my best friends suddenly in the last 5 years have become people who are like-minded. You know, my old friends are still there. Some of them are still there, but they're doing things that I can't spend my time on, like getting wasted every day and stuff like that. I'm just like, I just don't have time for it anymore. You know. I don't want to do it anymore. I just want to hang out with people who have a vision and are excited about life and helping the world and doing this, like being on a call with you. That's awesome. I mean, who gets asked, you know, to come on a call and talk about this, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm really, really privileged and thankful and grateful, gratitude first thing in the morning too.
Yes.
To be here on this channel with you, you know, and you know, in the group that everybody's listening now. And thank you everybody for being here. Stay positive. Deal with the negative as well. Don't just pretend like the negative isn't there, because actually it's very important to listen to the dark sides as well and be able to maintain them and acknowledge them and thank them. And thank you, Mark.
Pleasure. Thanks so much, Tommy Boy. Great to have you on, brother. I'll let you go. Find yourself a yacht, find yourself a boat somewhere, and go for a river cruise.
I'm just gonna, yeah. All right, guys, have a good one.
Thanks,
bye.
Bye.
See you later. Bye.
I'll let Tommy go there.